We're a week into the January transfer window, and for Middlesbrough, things are already starting to heat up. It's Kim Helberg's first window in charge at the Riverside Stadium, and as a result, he is looking to overhaul his squad to help us in our pursuit of securing promotion this season. Now, there's already been one deal agreed. There's already a couple of players linked with coming to the club, so stick around and we'll let you know what that deal is that has been agreed at the back end of this video. Let's get started with one of the most exciting roundup pieces of the last few days. So the story that everyone has been talking about at Middlesbrough is that with regards to Jeremy Sarmiento. Now, the Northern Echo and Teesside Live both reported that Middlesbrough are exploring the possibility of signing the forward on a loan deal until the end of the season. Now, Sarmiento is an Ecuador international, currently plays for Brighton, and he's on loan at the moment with Italian side Cremonese. Now, he joined them on loan at the start of the campaign. The hope was that he would be getting regular first-team football there, but while he's been there, he's only actually made 7 substitute appearances. So that's not a situation that's ideal for him. It's not one that's ideal for Brighton, and as a result, Brighton are likely to be looking to recall him this month. Now, what does it mean for Middlesbrough? Middlesbrough are big fans of Sarmiento. He's 24 years of age. He's someone who knows exactly what it takes to shine at this level. He's been promoted twice from the Championship. He was promoted with Ipswich Town a couple of seasons ago. Last season, he was part of the Burnley side that got promoted as well, albeit he was only a squad player there. So he's someone who clearly knows what it takes to get promoted at this level. He's really shone during his time in the Championship as well. So he's someone who knows exactly how to get the best out of himself in this division. And so for Middlesbrough, it does seem like one which would make sense with what we've been hearing from the club. Middlesbrough are looking to recruit attack-minded players this month. That sort of supporting role in attack is one that we are going to be keen to recruit for, particularly on the left side, which is where Sarmiento would fit in really well. He's right-footed, someone who likes to play on the left and cut inside, sort of the opposite to Morgan Whittaker, I guess. And that left side is it is a bit of a problem position for Middlesbrough. Riley McGree has done very well since he came back from injury, but of course he's since suffered another setback, and so of course it might be a case that Middlesbrough need to manage his game time in the weeks and months ahead to make sure that we can keep him fit for long periods. But other than that, there hasn't really been anyone who's sort of nailed down that place in the team. Delano Bergzorg has been in and out, really. I think people know what Delano Bergzorg is about now. He's someone who does have flashes of real quality, but consistency is always an issue. His end product is often lacking, it's safe to say. So he's someone who hasn't really nailed down that spot in the team. In the last few weeks, we have also seen a few other players given an opportunity in there. We've seen the likes of Sammy Silvera, Sverry Nip, and Mika Hamilton was given an opportunity on Boxing Day. Even Hayden Hackney was tried on that left-hand side to see whether he could fill that sort of problem position, and no one has really managed it other than Riley McGree. So I think a move for a player of that profile does make sense for Middlesbrough. Jeremy Sarmiento is someone who Middlesbrough are interested in. Nothing at the time of recording is thought to be close to being done. But it is a deal that could well happen, given Middlesbrough's need for a player in that position, our interest in him, and also the fact that his loan spell with Cremonese isn't exactly going to plan at the moment, and Brighton will be keen for him to get some regular first-team football and kick on in the second half of the season. There was talk in the summer that a club in South America could be interested in signing him on a permanent basis, but Sarmiento did make it clear that he wanted to stay in Europe, and so that could really bode well for Middlesbrough as well. So certainly one to keep an eye on over the coming weeks, and this could be a really exciting signing if Middlesbrough can pull it off. Before we get onto the topic of the deal that has been agreed with Middlesbrough, I just want to ask you all very kindly to subscribe to the channel. The January transfer window was a hectic time. There's going to be a lot going on in terms of incomings and outgoings. We're touching on a couple of them in this video, but also there's going to be a lot more going on in terms of potential deals between now and the end of the month. So if you don't want to miss any of it, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and we will have all of the latest news right here for you on Bonkers for Boro. So let's get stuck into that done deal, or the one that is very, very close to being completed, and that is a deal with regards to Seny Dieng, the Middlesbrough goalkeeper. Now, reports from the Hull Live have suggested that Hull City have agreed a deal to sign Seny Dieng. Seny Dieng has agreed an 18-month contract to join the club, to join the Tigers, and that will be expected to be done in the next few days on a permanent basis. Now, the club have agreed a deal to release him from his contract with Middlesbrough. Of course, he has fallen way down the pecking order with Middlesbrough. He hasn't actually played a game for Middlesbrough since December 2024. He was, of course, brought in from Queen's Park Rangers. He was Middlesbrough's #1 goalkeeper, but then last season, a couple of shaky performances with Solbrin waiting in the wings really sort of spelled the end of his time with Middlesbrough. He lost his place to Solbrin in December. Solbrin had a couple of wonderful games after replacing Dieng. He unfortunately suffered a shoulder injury. Middlesbrough then brought in Mark Travers, who held the #1 jersey between then and the end of the season. And in amongst all of that, Seny Dieng suffered an Achilles injury, which ruled him out for most of 2025. Now, it was thought that Dieng could potentially move on in the summer transfer window. There was interest. There was some late window interest from Queen's Park Rangers. They were keen to bring him back to Loftus Road, but that couldn't be done. They couldn't quite find an agreement in terms of wages and that sort of thing. Because Seny Dieng is one of the most well-paid players at Middlesbrough at the moment. But it does seem like this deal could well be coming to fruition now. So the 31-year-old is expected to join Hull City. Of course, Hull have been under something of a transfer embargo of late, but Hull Live understands that the EFL have approved Dieng's move to the MKM Stadium after talks this week, and therefore City won't need to move on a player to accommodate his signing. There had been suggestions that it would need to be a one in, one out sort of situation for Seny Dieng to join. That proves that it's not going to be the case. And so as a result of that, they're not going to be under pressure to move on another player who has been quite closely linked with Middlesbrough. He was linked with Middlesbrough in the summer, and that was for the Ivor Pandor, the other Hull City goalkeeper. Middlesbrough were linked with a move for him. It looked like potentially that could be a swap deal happening, but this report from Hull Live suggests that Pandora is not necessarily going to be moving on this month. I think the hope is that the two of them will compete for that #1 jersey. It may well be a situation to keep an eye on because Middlesbrough, of course, will be in a position where we'll have one less goalkeeper. It means that in our pecking order, we'll have Solbrin, we'll have John McLaughlin, the other veteran goalkeeper, and then we'll have a few younger goalkeepers as well. So it'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on. I wouldn't be against Middlesbrough just sticking with those goalkeepers, giving a youngster an opportunity to be in and around the first team. But it may well be the case that Middlesbrough do look to bring in another goalkeeper to challenge Solbrin for that #1 jersey. Pandor was linked with Middlesbrough over the summer. I'm not sure exactly how credible those sort of links were, but given Dieng has gone to Hull City, obviously one of those goalkeepers is going to be left disappointed. You wouldn't imagine that they're going to be signing Seny Dieng for him to sit on the bench. So that could well pave the way for Ivor Pandor to leave Hull, whether it's to Middlesbrough or to someone else. So certainly one to keep an eye on there for Middlesbrough because he is someone who has been linked in the past, and potentially there could be a deal to be done there to bring him in as someone who can challenge Solbrin for that #1 jersey. But as far as Dieng's concerned, feels like a move is in the best interest of everyone, really. He's fallen way down the pecking order at Middlesbrough. Like I said, he's on a good amount of money at the moment. He's made 52 appearances for the club, but hasn't really convinced. Solbrin, undoubtedly, in my opinion, is Middlesbrough's best goalkeeper now. Certainly holds that #1 jersey, and so the opportunity to move Dieng on a permanent basis seems like the perfect one all round. So best of luck to Seny Dieng. Feels like this one's going to be happening in the next couple of days, and certainly one to keep an eye on as Middlesbrough's transfer window starts to heat up. It's very exciting that, of course, Middlesbrough are getting these deals done now. There's going to be a lot more coming up in the next few weeks in terms of incomings and outgoings. There's going to be a lot more links. There's going to be a lot more players leaving the club. There's hopefully going to be 2 or 3 signings before the end of the month as well. So if you want to keep up to date with all of that, please do subscribe to Bonkers for Boro. And if you have enjoyed this video, please do hit like. Comment below as well. Let me know what you think about Seny Dieng's move, and I will catch up with you next time.